The average cost of teeth whitening at the dentist is $750. But what if I told you that there are everyday foods that whiten your teeth almost as well? That's the topic of today's video. Here are my top 5 foods for whiter teeth. Watch until the end to find out about my ideal daily menu for taking care of your teeth. Hi everyone, we're the AI Health Talk 360 YouTube channel. We cover health-related topics and share information on the benefits of certain foods for leading a more fulfilling life. Depending on what you eat, the color of your teeth may change slightly. Certain foods and drinks, such as tea and coffee, can leave small stains on your teeth. So can certain health habits. For example, if you smoke or drink alcohol, stains will build up on your teeth over time. When your t-shirt gets dirty, what do? You wash it. To remove stains, you use laundry detergent, those little tablets that miraculously restore your laundry to its original whiteness. Well, it's much the same in your mouth. If your teeth are stained, you need to clean them. The best way to do this is to brush them, which is what I recommend. Don't stop brushing your teeth after watching this video. However, certain foods contain substances that can act as stain removers for your teeth. This natural detergent is called malic acid, which is found in the first food I recommend for achieving a whiter smile, strawberries. But it is a fragile substance. To reap the full benefits, I recommend eating raw, locally sourced strawberries in season. This is the best way to reap the full nutritional benefits. However, strawberries are not in season all year round. Other foods containing malic acid include peaches, bananas, broccoli, and of course, apples. It's no coincidence that women are often shown biting into apples in toothpaste and dental hygiene adverts. Apples are also excellent for your mouth. They're also quite convenient, as you can eat them all year round. Here's a menu to help you get the most out of malic acid. Bananas for breakfast, apples for dessert at lunch, and strawberries for dinner. This second food is extremely effective at whitening teeth. I'm sure you'll be surprised by it. But before I reveal what it is, let me explain something. Stains on your teeth can come from your diet, but they can also be caused by your teeth becoming more fragile over time. Your teeth are surrounded by a very strong shield called enamel, which you can see when you smile. Over time, this enamel can become stained, making your teeth more sensitive to extreme temperatures. Perhaps you are one of those people who cannot drink hot coffee or eat ice cream because your enamel is slightly fragile. The same applies to certain other foods, such as acidic foods. If acid is starting to cause problems for your teeth, you really need to consider the health of your enamel. Of course, it's only natural that enamel loses some of its effectiveness over time. But if this happens too quickly, we see an increase in stains and a loss of shine in teeth. Ultimately, enamel wears down over time, becoming thinner and more fragile, so it's important to strengthen it. How can you achieve this? Well, your tooth enamel is made up of the same substance as the outer layer of your bones, so this will make sense to some of you. Of course, you need to consume calcium, but there is something else in your diet that mixes with the calcium. This is called phosphorus. Imagine calcium acts like bricks to build a wall, and phosphorus acts like cement to hold them together. Hard cheese, such as Comte, is one of the foods richest in phosphorus and calcium in the right proportions. It is the second food on our list. Generally speaking, hard cheeses are better for a balanced diet than cow's milk cheeses because they contain significantly less lactose and are therefore easier for the body to tolerate. They also contain much more probiotic bacteria, which are important for oral flora. Without the right bacteria in your mouth, fermentation can occur, leading to bad breath. It may seem counterintuitive, but eating smelly cheese can actually help to keep your breath fresh in the long term. However, be careful, because cheese, especially hard cheeses, is a high-calorie, fatty food. I therefore recommend limiting yourself to one 30-40 grai serving per day. Another interesting food for whitening your teeth is grapefruit. To understand its benefits, consider something you've probably heard about in toothpaste commercials: plaque. Plaque is simply a small deposit that forms on your teeth when you eat. This is what we try to remove when we brush our teeth. The more plaque we remove, the healthier our teeth will be in the long term, and the fresher our breath will smell. However, the problem is the plaque can turn slightly yellow over time, especially when it builds up near the gums. This is due to an imbalanced diet and the overconsumption of certain foods, particularly sugary ones. It is also caused by the growth of harmful bacteria in your mouth. These bacteria cause gum infection. As the infection spreads, holes and rough patches appear, allowing more harmful bacteria to settle in and causing further infection and more plaque. It is therefore necessary to stop this chain reaction, which worsens over time. To stop this, it is essential to take care of your gums. As I mentioned a few moments ago, tooth enamel is very strong, but gums are quite soft. They are soft tissues similar to our skin or muscles. They are made up of proteins, which are also present in our skin and muscles. The main component of gums is a substance called collagen. This substance is abundant in our bodies and helps maintain the elasticity of our skin. In our mouths, it is exactly the same. Sufficient collagen in good condition helps keep our gums firm, strong, and permeable. But how is collagen produced? Firstly, it is important to know that your body produces it naturally from the proteins you consume. However, vitamin C is essential for protecting and optimizing collagen production and maintenance. Among the foods richest in vitamin C are citrus fruits, such as grapefruit. Be aware that many foods contain vitamin C, but good sources include parsley, which I recommend adding to your dishes often, and kiwi fruit. A varied diet is the best way to look after your health. In the suggested menu, vitamin C is present in two main places: in the snack, thanks to the grapefruit, and in the dessert, thanks to the strawberries. The fourth food that is very good for achieving white teeth is carrots. We need to go back to what I was explaining a few moments ago. We were talking about the bacteria that settle in the mouth. These bacteria originate from food residue that becomes trapped near the gums or between the teeth. In a sense, they begin to decay. This process is known as fermentation or putrefaction, depending on the type of food you eat. The best way to remove them is to brush your teeth. However, we don't always have the time, opportunity, or necessary equipment to do so after every meal. For example, when flying, traveling for work, or eating out, it's not always easy. So, in a sense, there are natural toothbrushes in the form of foods that clean your teeth. These are generally fairly firm foods that pass over and between your teeth when you bite into them, doing a similar job to the bristles on a toothbrush. These foods also cause your mouth to produce a lot of saliva. This saliva moisturizes and rinses your mouth, helping to remove debris. As I mentioned earlier, these foods include apples, but especially carrots. For this recipe, however, it is best to use raw, firm carrots. Another food that works well for this is celery. If you like it, feel free to use it. It is also very refreshing, just like apples. In the menu I am proposing, there are two foods that have a cleansing effect. These are included in the lunch, which contains carrots and apples. The fifth and final food that is great for whitening teeth is coconut oil. As you will have understood by now, the bacteria present in our mouths cause various minor problems that result in stains on our teeth. Coconut oil can help even more than the other foods I've mentioned, complementing them to clean the mouth. Now, let's revisit something we are all unfortunately familiar with, whether from childhood or adulthood: antibiotics. Antibiotics are substances that destroy bacteria by having a bactericidal effect. Coconut oil contains lauric acid, a powerful antibacterial agent, so it has a similar effect. Therefore, it has a similar effect to mouthwash in that it destroys bacteria when consumed. Furthermore, bacteria love to feed on sugar. This is why we often say that eating too much sugar causes cavities. I'm sure you're familiar with this. However, coconut oil doesn't contain sugar. It's a fatty substance that traps bacteria in fat, preventing them from feeding on sugar. This helps to destroy them. Incidentally, when I mentioned mouthwash, I wasn't just using an expression. That's exactly how I recommend using coconut oil. You put it in your mouth, swish it around, and make the familiar gargling sound. In short, you make sure it goes everywhere, then you spit it out. It's also a great way to freshen your breath. I made a video on the subject, which I'll put in the description below. Now let's take a look at the ideal menu that I've put together for you throughout this video. For breakfast, I've chosen a banana, 2 fried eggs with a drizzle of olive oil, and a slice of wholemeal bread. Of course, you can adjust the quantities according to your appetite. For lunch, I've included a salad of grated carrots with a vinaigrette made with walnut, rapeseed or flaxseed oil to take advantage of the anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. For your main course, I've prepared a sardine and vegetable tagine with quinoa. For dessert, I recommend an apple, preferably a Granny Smith, as it is the least sweet variety. As a snack, I recommend a grapefruit, a small piece of Comté cheese and a handful of nuts. Finally, for dinner, I made a spinach salad with strawberries and goat's cheese, a small amount of wholemeal pasta, and a square of dark chocolate. However, there is one thing missing from this menu: drinking a large glass of water with every meal. It's also important to stay hydrated for fresh breath and healthy teeth. This is a top 5 video, so I'm recommending specific foods. I should point out that these form the basis of a balanced diet. It's also important to eat a varied diet to enjoy your food and maintain a healthy weight. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'll see you soon with more videos. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones.